Hello everybody, my name is Felix Janic. I'm a postdoctoral researcher at INSEAD Business School, and it is my great pleasure today to present to you some of our recent work on the effect of acute stress on humanitarian supplies management. This is joint work together with my co-authors Maximilian Burkhardt and Stefan Spindler at WHU Otto Beisheim School of Business in Germany and Luc van Wassenhofer here at INSEAD in France. Our research project is situated in the context of humanitarian aid operations. We know that local field managers are crucial when it comes to addressing the localization of aid, the last mile problem, but that they are also exposed to high levels of stress due to witnessing emotional scenes, potentially a very noisy working environment, and potentially the high levels of time pressure under which they must operate. Unfortunately, previous research has clearly documented that such high levels of stress pose a serious health hazard, both from a physical and a mental health perspective. In the current research project, we are additionally interested whether high levels of stress directly affect organizational efficiency by biasing decision makers in the supply chain. To investigate this research question, we conducted a randomized controlled behavioral lab experiment. We used the newsvendor problem as an experimental context. Briefly, this faces participants with a challenge to choose optimal order sizes, facing uncertain and variable demand. Importantly, in our research project, we adapted the classic newsvendor setting to more closely mirror the humanitarian context. Instead of focusing on profit maximization, here we focused on balancing the costs of over and under supply in the provision of perishable aid products. Additionally, we also measured individual stress levels, both on a psychological level using self-report scales and on a physiological level using heart rate sensors. Our results showed that different sources of stress trigger individual stress levels in our decision makers. And interestingly, in alignment with some work in the stress literature, that moderate levels of stress can even have enhancing effects on the decision-making performance in the humanitarian supplies management. However, as predicted, we also found that this effect reversed for high levels of stress, as for example evoked under high levels of time pressure, which led to a deterioration of decision-making performance. This suggests both that stress can affect the efficiency of humanitarian supplies management, but also that this is not a black or white phenomenon, but rather that the impact and sign of the defect depends on the exact level of stress that decision makers face. Additionally, our results also hint at the possibility that highly trained individuals might be less afflicted when it comes to stress effects. And this outlines a potential avenue for interventions from humanitarian aid organizations. In conclusion, our results suggest that stress levels have important implications for humanitarian aid organizations, not only when it comes to the physical and mental health of workers, but also directly for the efficiency of the organization. Our results tentatively suggest that sufficient on-the-job training might be an avenue to mitigate these effects. Lastly, we argue that the findings that we demonstrate here in the humanitarian aid context also have implications for the broader business context and the way that we think about occupational stress more general. Thank you very much for your attention, and for more details, check out our paper.